This video is split into two parts. Part 1, Overview of Groups functionality. Part 2, Tips, Best Practices, and Tools for Managing Groups Online. The video assumes that you are familiar with how settlenet.org works, or have viewed the general walkthrough video. Settlenet.org is a site where immigrant and refugee serving sector staff, leaders, and those in related fields can learn, share, connect, and collaborate.
Group functionality, the technical. General groups overview. Groups are an important part of building community on settlenet.org. Groups are the central place to collaborate and communicate on mutual interests or topics. You can also use a group to organize events. In each group, you will find these sections. Stream. The activity stream shows all the activities in a group. About. Detailed information of a group. If you are a group manager, you can modify the information of a group. Events. Events that have been organized in a group. Events allow group members to organize activities that are specific to the group. Topics. Topics created in a group. Like the rest of settlenet.org, topics in your group activity stream are news, stories, discussions, or announcements. Using a topic instead of posting a simple update lets you add titles and organize a discussion into a topic thread. We recommend choosing topics to post to groups. Members. Members of a group. If you are a group manager, you can also manage the members of a group. Manage members. Visible only to group managers. A group manager can add and remove new members, as well as change the role of existing members. For example, you can make someone else a group manager to help you manage the group. Groups on settlenet.org are a space for you to organize around a common interest. There are open groups where anyone can join and closed groups, where you must be invited or can request to join. Let's take a look at some of the groups that are on the site. When you land in the group section, you can filter what you see by closed group or open groups, groups based on regions, areas of work, services, or even when the group was created. You know right away if something is a closed group. It's indicated under the group name. There is also an eye icon that you can hover over for some more information about the group. Let's look at a closed group. You can see the information about the group and who the group members are, but not what has been posted. You can request an invitation to the group. You can private message one of the group managers to request an invite, or you may be invited to this group directly. If we look at an open group, you will see everything in this group immediately. The stream is everything people have been posting to the group. With an open group, you can read messages, but you cannot post a new message or reply to messages until you join. Once you join, you will see a text box that says, "Say something to the group." This allows you to quickly post a message, question, or information to the group. You can add an image to your message. If you want to post something more complex, with more information including categories, type of topic, with more rich text, such as a bolding, bullet lists, or with attached files, create a topic is the way to go. The About section tells us how the group manager has decided to describe the group. Events include events that the group has planned. They can be offline or online events. Topics appear in the group stream. The benefit of creating topics is that topics organize the information a little bit better for you within a group. As well, you can attach files. This might be important if you are presenting information about a project or you want to share a document with people in your group, such as minutes, terms of reference, presentations, slides, etc. And you can post multiple files in an individual topic post. Each file has a 4 megabytes limit. That's generally going to be okay for most of the PDFs or Word documents. If you are posting something to an external or internal link, you can add the link here. You can include a link to a page within settlenet.org. Perhaps you are not announcing a new group, or yes, or you're externally to a website or resource outside of settlenet.org. Now, within the text, you can obviously add this link directly, but you can also add the link to the information itself. If it's important, you can add the region. This might be a thread about something that is specific to Alberta. It might be specific to a particular area of work. So for example, if this is employment related, I might want to add this as an employment rights. You can also add related terms. These are terms or keywords that may not be in the site categories. Maybe it's related to a current situation, like COVID. As you start to type a related term, you will see a common terms that other people have used will start to appear. And you can use any of all of these to add to your post. This is especially important for open groups since topics from those groups also show up on the topic list pages and category pages. You can decide whether you want to allow comments. We recommend leaving your comments open, especially in a group for the obvious reason that you are trying to generate a discussion. But if for any reason you don't want there to be discussion or people post comments on your topic, you can select closed. And then the information you post will not allow for other groups members to comment on it. A group discussion is a really quick and easy way for you to have conversations with people who are interested in similar information. If you want to create a group first, you need to become a content contributor. Contact the settlenet.org team through the site form to get an account upgrade. When you create a group, you automatically become the group manager. You can also make other people in your group managers. Any group manager can add users to an open or closed group, change the role of members into a group manager or normal group member, remove members from a group. The group manager is visible to all members of the community on the group's member page. Groups are an important part of the settlenet.org site and allow you to stay updated and connect with others on topics, regions, or areas of interest that are important to you. It's important for you to understand how groups work, as outlined above. However, managing your group and group members, getting them to engage, blending offline and online activities, and facilitating an active and vibrant group is where you will focus most of your time and energy. The second part of this video focuses on just those areas.
Tips, best practices, and tools for managing groups online. The goal of this section is to provide you with an overview of how to manage a group online. Think of the members of your group as your community. What do you want your community to be like? Your main steps are to plan, test, establish guidelines, be active, be welcoming. Key facilitator functions and qualities. An online group isn't really that different from an in-person group. All groups require active facilitation, moderation, and establishing group norms. Consider the forming, storming, norming, performing model of group development. It applies here as well. While the mechanics may be different online, all the skills and qualities of good facilitation apply. Here are a few to keep in mind. Listen to, clarify, and integrate information provided by the facilitator themselves and the participants. Demonstrate flexibility in dealing with member issues and posts. Keep your group focused on the group's purpose. Create and reinforce an open, safe, positive, and participative environment. Direct and manage discussions. Develop and ask the right questions. promote a sense of ownership and community among group members. Encourage group responsibility. Build rapport and relationships. Manage conflict and negative emotions constructively in a timely and efficient manner. Encourage and support members and perspectives. Understand the technology and its capabilities. Present information to the group. Facilitate and promote equal participation of participants. Identify communication issues and problems. Clarify and rephrase issues. Solicit feedback from members and other moderators and facilitators. Keep discussions on topic. Overall good communication skills. Have a plan. Should you start your group with a small group of invitees first? When you start a community, you usually start from one of these two starting positions. 1. Build a new group from scratch. 2. Transfer an existing offline community to settlenet.org. In both cases, it can be very helpful to start with a smaller group or community who you invite to the group. You can see this as a testing phase before you launch your community and open it up to a wider public. For this phase, we advise you to invite a small group of users, 20 to 25 max, to get your community up and running. You can send invites on the site to people who already have an account. Or you can use the Invite Members by Email function in your group. You'll find that in the Manage Members tab on your group. Use this to invite someone to join your group by entering their email address. They will receive an invitation to sign up on settlenet.org if they don't have an account. Please note, if they already have an account on the site, they won't get the invitation email. It's meant for those who haven't created an account on the site yet. We recommend you check first to see if people you want to invite have an account already. Once they create an account, they will be automatically added to your group. Starting your group with just a few people you know helps you to try out your content and group strategy on a real live audience to see how they respond. The other benefit for piloting your group is once your community is launched to a wider audience, you'll already have a lot of content and conversations going when they enter the group for the first time. You'll have group guidelines, and some of your original group members can support and mentor new group members.
What should a group manager focus on with your initial group members? In an active community, people may not notice you have started a new group. Invite some people you like in your group, or who you think could find value in your group, and give them a personal welcome. You can do this by meeting with them face to face, or sending them an email or other personal message to explain why you have started this community, why you have invited them to join, and how to join. You can also let the settlenet.org team know about your new group. The settlenet.org monthly updates newsletter is always looking for new, preferably open, groups and new group content to promote. This might be a good way to get the broader community interested in the group. Keep track of all your group activities at this time. This will help you figure out what makes your group work and will also give other settlenet.org users insights on why you have made certain decisions in the testing period. Check individual activity regularly. Are they responsive? What are they responding to? How are they responding? And if not, find out why. A lot of group managers dismiss inactive users, but it's important to know why someone is not engaging in your community. A few small adjustments might make them more comfortable to become active members. Or they might like the community but prefer to lurk instead. It's quite normal for a large percentage of online group members to be lurkers. You will not know unless you ask. Post questions regularly to spark discussion. Keep track of how many people commented on or liked your posts to see if what you have what you are posting is what interests them. You can even schedule individual and group sessions with your testing group to get the feedback you need to make your group a success. Your initial members will really help you understand what works and what doesn't work for them. Ask them, and ask often as you are getting your group up and running.
What is the best way to make people feel at home? Be welcoming. While groups mainly exist for people to engage with one another, it's very important that people trust that your group is safe and feel comfortable enough to engage in conversation to begin with. A welcome approach and feel can really help achieve this. Your tone of voice can help. When determining your tone of voice, keep in mind what kind of group you are managing. Do you want it to be open so everyone can say whatever they want, whenever they want? Or do you want to make sure your community doesn't get too cluttered and chaotic, so you should be more formal from the start? Consider how formal or informal and inclusive you want your community to be, and what tone of voice can trigger users to engage and be responsive in the most meaningful way for the purposes of your community. Be welcoming visually as well. Create a unique image for your group. Make sure you have permission to use the images you choose. Make sure your settlenet.org profile has a picture of you, so it's easy for people to recognize your group and you on the site. When you create your group, you can create a welcome message for new members. If you've already created a group, you can edit your group to add this message at any time. The message is sent by private message on the site to anyone who joins your group. It will arrive in their settlenet.org inbox as a message from you and all your group managers. Because the message doesn't come from the group name but yours, you should ensure that the name of your group and perhaps a link to the group is included in the message to provide some context for them. Be open for the group itself with your welcoming. Create a topic thread, encouraging everyone to introduce themselves. When new members join, you can welcome them in the group or private message them. Encourage them to post an introduction or a question or to respond to an existing discussion. Getting them to be active immediately will help them to engage with your group. Respond to messages from new members, especially if others have not. No one wants to be part of a silent group. Use your role as group manager to actively engage and encourage your members to interact and be active.
Guidelines. Moderation. Part of the success of your group is based on how you manage the group. Guidelines are a set of principles that give new and existing group members an idea of desired behavior within your community. Guidelines give users a sense of what a group is about and how group members should treat one another. You want people to feel positive about your group when they first come in. Your guidelines should focus on what people should do rather than what they should not. Guidelines are always a work in progress. You can always adjust them with feedback from your group members and as you see the group evolve and grow. Once you have set up your initial guidelines, be sure to include them in any welcome email or welcome message to new members. This message should be included in your group's About section and in your group welcome message. Examples of community guidelines. Good community guidelines are short and simple. They let the community know how users are expected to interact with one another. Try to capture the personality and beliefs of the community and make sure you are not too restrictive. Your main goal with community guidelines is to ensure people interact with each other in a civil manner so everyone feels welcome. Set some boundaries for which content is not allowed under any circumstances. Personal attacks, doxing, for example, sharing private details of a community member. Racism and sexism come to mind, for example. Here are some elements all guidelines should include. 1. By joining the group, you agreed to these guidelines. 2. The purpose, goals, and the scope of the group. 3. Who owns or moderates the group? 4. Define what is acceptable and not acceptable behavior. 5. Outline the consequences of violating guidelines. 6. Provide contact information for off-group communication. Most of your community members will not read the guidelines or just skim through them. This is okay. You want to have them in place in case things escalate and you need to step in. In these instances, it's important you have a set of rules you can refer to. You can borrow text from the settlenet.org user guidelines. You should review these to see what might be useful for your group. As a group manager, you should also be familiar with the settlenet.org terms of use, privacy policy, copyright and intellectual property policy, user guidelines, and any other disclaimers that might get added to the site over time. The settlenet.org site also has a great and comprehensive example of group guidelines that you can borrow from. Managing your group members. There are several functions in place which help group managers manage and moderate their communities. For example, establish guidelines for your group and post them. Delete offensive content posted by community members. Be sure to check the steps to content moderation below before you use this feature. Edit content posted by community members. Be careful with this functionality. People tend to view this as censorship worse than removal. Submitting content under someone else's name and changing the authorship of a content item. Use this feature only with permission of the person under whose name you will be posting content. Close comments threads. If comments escalate or if an event has taken place in the past, you can choose to close the comment thread. We suggest that you add a summary of the discussion or event to content items for which you have closed the comment thread, so people understand why the thread has been closed. Cancel block user accounts. Use this functionality sparingly, and be sure to give users a warning if you are planning to block them to give them a chance to adjust their behavior. Add new group managers. Steps to moderate content. If a group member posts something that contravenes your group guidelines, you have a few options. Moderate immediately. Delete the offending content straight away. Please note that a group manager can only edit topics, events, and their comments, not posts and their comments. Post a follow-up message referring to the guidelines informing the group why the message was removed and that this type of behavior is not allowed. If the person or people involved continue their behavior, contact them with a personal email or message and give them a warning to let them know they will be removed from the community if they continue in this manner. You could do this by going to the user's profile and clicking on Private Message. If the person or people involved still continue, you can remove them and delete the offending content. Post a message to the group informing them that a member has been removed, why, and reference your guidelines. Let the group respond and moderate. Unless the content is extremely offensive or even illegal, do not delete the offending content straight away. First, see if the community corrects itself and if users step in to correct undesirable behavior. Help steer the conversation in the right direction by referring to the guidelines and reminding the person or people involved this type of behavior is not allowed. If the person or people involved continue their behavior, contact them with a personal email or message and give them a warning to let them know they will be removed from the community if they continue in this manner. If the person or people involved still continue, block their account, and delete the offending content. There is more to moderation than looking out for offensive or problematic content. You may also want to refer users back to an existing topic or group if they create duplicate content, or simply help a user edit or close their account if they are experiencing some kind of problem.
Think about creating a content calendar. It can take time to establish the group and where group members feel comfortable posting and creating discussions. You may find that you and any other group managers you designate are the ones doing the initial posting of content. That's quite normal for new groups. To ensure you have enough varied and diverse content to appeal to your various target groups, set up a content calendar. There are many content or editorial calendar templates online, but a basic content calendar should contain a weekly or monthly overview of the content you're planning to post, an overview of how you're going to share this content. Will you post it in a group in full, or as a new topic, or as a resource on settlenet.org that you will then link into a new topic, maybe even as an event? Information about events that are of importance to the group. Plans to ensure maximum engagement for community events you or your community members are planning. You can even create regular reminders to yourself to check the group for activity, although you'll also get notifications from the site of new members and posts. Lastly, anything else that you can think of that you need to plan ahead or avoid overdoing or redoing or need to take into account for your group. Just like your content and engagement strategies, the content calendar for your group is a work in progress. The more active your group becomes, the less, or maybe even the more content you will have to provide. Engagement. In most cases, during the early stages of your community, the community will be relatively quiet. There are some simple steps to try to engage your community to keep the conversation going. In your messages on the group, be sure to give your group members talking points. For example, enter the question for the group and make sure it is an open question that will require more than a yes or no answer from your community members. As an example, you could say, Maria is looking for more information on X. Is anybody willing to share their experiences? I think we could all learn a lot from this. When you see a conversation is starting to happen but losing steam, drive the conversation forward. Ask open-ended questions and engage in the conversation. You can even encourage other group members to join to help a conversation gain momentum. You can mention them in your post or reach out to them outside of the group through email or private message on settlenet.org. Reward members who are actively engaging. You can like their comments or leave positive feedback on their comments. It's important to find a balance here where your likes and feedback feel authentic and not automated. So we'd encourage you to like their best comments and give involved feedback. For example, wow, I never thought of it that way. Do you think X, Y, and Z will improve if we approach it this way? Ask your more active group members if they want to be featured with an interview. This way, you can get new content that can spark activity in your community, and the content revolves around some of your most active members, which means that they will help drive the conversation around their content. If they're not interested in an interview, find a way to highlight their work that might be of interest to other group members. Keep track of which group members are the most engaged and who you're engaging with. Some group members may be more active than others, and you may want to stimulate this, but it's good to keep an eye out for quieter members and motivate them to get engaged. People may get demotivated and feel left out if they feel there is an inner circle within the group, and as a group manager, it is your duty to make sure everyone feels welcome.
Notifications. Understanding how notifications work on settlenet.org will help you to encourage your group members to stay updated. When they are logged into the site, your group members get notifications about new content or comments in the notification center, the little bell beside your profile picture. When they are not logged into the site and viewing it, email notifications are what let them know of new and interesting content. In essence, notifications are an invitation back to your group. Your group members can configure email notifications on their account settings page. For each email notification, you can choose to receive immediately, daily, weekly, or not at all. Immediately means you will get an email notification as soon as something has happened. For example, if someone sends a private message to you, if a person comments on my profile, if a person mentions me in a post, and so on. Encourage them to have notifications on for a person created a post, event, or topic in a group I joined. You can even recommend they set this to immediately, so they get notifications on new posts to your group. On top of the normal user notifications, there is a set of email notifications for group managers. This will help you track new activity in the platform. In your account settings, under notifications, turn on these notifications and send them to immediately. What I manage. A person commented on content created or organized by me. A person joins a group I am managing. Enabling these notifications allows you to respond to new content while you are building your community. Engaging with new users when they first arrive in your new community is important.
Some final thoughts. Community building takes time. Don't expect your group to be very active from the start. In the first year, you will move from content generator to content curator before you will start feeling like a real group manager. Make people feel at home. Make sure the look and feel of your group and your tone of text are aligned to your goals to give users a clear idea of who you are and what your group will bring them. Set up clear guidelines. Clear group rules will give your members clear expectations on desirable and undesirable behavior and help you with the community moderation if you ever need to step in and address an issue. Create a content calendar. A content calendar will inspire you to keep your group engaging and active and help you to keep track of your progress throughout the year. Engage your group members. Engagement comes in many forms. At first, your group may not interact with one another, but if you create content for your group by interviewing people from the group, you are still boosting engagement. Be a curator and share what you think might be of interest to the group members. Keep an eye on what works, creates more discussion, and share more of that.